So it's a big day here. We are going to set up our garage in a box that we bought at Tractor Supply Company on Black Friday. And Yvonne's going to do the honors of the unboxing. This is 12 feet by 20 feet by 8 feet. And after watching several YouTube videos, hopefully this will take us between 2 and 3 hours to set up. And this box weighs probably about 150, 175 pounds. And I'm going to have to cut it here so I can help Yvonne out, and we'll catch you in a few minutes. Okay, so we've laid out the parts, and now we know why the box was so heavy. And I'm not usually one to do this, but we're actually going to do it just the way they show it in the videos. We're going to look at all the parts, separate everything, count it, make sure it's all here. And then we'll go over here, check out the amount of hardware included with this thing. There's just a ton of hardware. So we're going to get this all sorted out, and then we'll take it to the next step. Okay, so this is the first rib for the garage. Took us about 5 minutes to put together because it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, and the hardware is very similar. There are two sets of bolts that are literally 2 millimeters apart in length. So hopefully this will start going a little bit quicker, but there's rib number 1. Okay, Yvonne's putting the final touches on the last rib. I'd say it probably took maybe a half an hour to get them all done. Yeah. Once we got the hang of it, it went pretty quick. So now on to the next step. Okay, so we got the first 2 ribs assembled together. For anybody who's watching this and thinking about assembling one of these garages in a box, here's the trick. You got to do it laying down in this position. If you try standing 2 ribs up and putting in the cross braces, you're going to do nothing but just pull your hair out. Unless, of course, you've got 3 people. But with 2 people, this is the way it's got to be done. Okay, another 30 minutes later, and the frame is up. It's been positioned, and we are getting ready to mount, or I should say to stabilize the frame before we put on the tarp. So, next step, putting the anchors in. Okay, the one thing that we learned is the instructions suck. And I heard that probably a dozen times on all the videos that we watched as far as constructing the frame. The videos from the manufacturer, of course, they show it being done in a studio and everything just works out perfectly. Well, fact of the matter is, the only way you can get this thing to stand up straight and really check for square is if you do the last step in the instructions, which is applying these bottom cross braces before anchoring the corners and measuring on the diagonal to make sure that everything's square. It's just not, otherwise it's just not going to work, especially in the sandy soil that we're working in. So we're figuring it out. It's taking a little bit longer than we thought it would, but we'll get through it.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Gotta make the most out of it, for the best.
As the sun sets in southeast Arizona, the garage is finally up. It took about 5 hours as opposed to the 3 hours we were expecting. But you know what, it's up. We took our time. We only argued a couple times. And both times my wife was right and I was wrong. But that's okay. It's par for the course. And it looks pretty good. So we paid $2.99 for this thing on Black Friday from Tractor Supply store. And hopefully it's going to serve us well. We really need it to last us at least a year. And I know that the UV problem with these kinds of tarps can be an issue here in southeast Arizona. But we'll deal with that when that problem arises. Otherwise, it's pretty good. So we're going to wrap this up for the day. This is Bill and Yvonne. There's Yvonne over at the truck saying adios from southeast Arizona. And this is the upside of downsizing. We'll catch you guys in the next video.